A judge has ruled that another man who was wrongly deported to El Salvador must be returned by the Trump administration. Tyrone Bowman live. A second ruling finds that the government wrongfully sent a man to an El Salvador prison under wartime law despite legal protections. Tyrone Bowman live. Welcome to the program. According to the Wall Street Journal, an article written by Mariah Timmons, a federal judge in Maryland has ordered the Trump administration to facilitate the return of another man who was sent to an El Salvador prison as part of the government's push to swiftly remove alleged members of a Venezuelan gang. The man, identified only as Christian in court documents, was born in Venezuela and came to the U.S. as an unoccupied minor. He came to the United States as an unoccupied minor. He and others who came to the country as children reached a settlement agreement with the government in November that prohibited their removal while their asylum applications were pending. Nevertheless, Christian was among those sent to a Salvador prison by the administration in March. U.S. District Judge Stephanie A. Gallagher in Baltimore on Wednesday ruled that removing him without a chance to complete his asylum petition or challenge his deportation violated the settlement agreement. Christian and another person who had been removed in violation of the settlement agreement should be returned, she said. The administration's use of the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 to deport alleged members of the Venezuelan gang Tren de Agua, bypassing normal immigration procedures, has resulted in fierce legal battles across the country. President Trump in mid-March signed a proclamation declaring the gang, which he had designated a foreign terrorist organization equivalent to a hostile foreign government in wartime, and ordered government agencies to immediately remove its members. Hours after the proclamation was made public, immigration officials moved more than 200 migrants, most of them Venezuelans, to a notorious prison in El Salvador. The government has argued in Christian's case that anyone designated as an, quote, alien enemy, unquote, is ineligible for asylum protections, dissolving the terms of the settlement. Gallagher's order referenced the continuing proceedings in the same state involving Kilmar Albri Garcia, also taken to prison in El Salvador despite a court order prohibiting his removal to that country. The Supreme Court directed the administration to, quote, facilitate, end quote, his return. The government initially acknowledged that Albrio Garcia's deportation was a mistake, but as the case has progressed, it has accused him of being a dangerous gang member. Officials in that case have pushed back against the court's definition of, quote, facilitate, end quote, in an argument over what steps they must take to seek his return. Gallagher's order on Wednesday laid out the steps that the government should take to fulfill its obligations. Quote, this court further orders that facilitating Christiana's returns includes, but is not limited to, defendants making a good faith request to the government of El Salvador to release Christian to U.S. custody for transport back to the United States to await the adjudication of his asylum application on the merits by USCIS, end quote. For those of you who are coming from other countries and you're seeking asylum, you have to make sure that everything is lined up proportionally, and you need a real good immigration lawyer who knows how to really negotiate and talk about these matters. Now let's get back to the article here. The judge who referenced U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, Gallagher, was nominated to the bench by Trump during his first term. The White House didn't immediately return a request for comment. Tyrone Bowman, never surrender, never quit.